Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my day off. I've been thinking a lot about this, and I've been doing some research, and I've come to the conclusion that once again I need to speak to you. And why do I need to speak to you? Because it doesn't matter what I say, you'll argue with me. I'm like Colin Cowherd of the sports talk world, but I'm the political side of it. What am I getting at? I'm getting at the fact that in 1948 and 49, there was a war between Israeli forces and Egyptian forces. And for 19 years, the Gaza Strip, that 140 square miles of land, was occupied by Egyptian forces and Egyptian people. But Jewish settlers still were building Jewish homes in that area over that 19-year period. Well, in 1967, Israel had another war in that area. And at the end of that war, Israel had control of the Gaza Strip. And they had control of their airspace, and they had control of everything. Well, in 2005, Israel decided, we're going to pull out. We're done. We're done trying to fight and maintain this little small area of land when we're constantly being bombarded, we're constantly being attacked, we're constantly having issues, we're constantly having problems. We're going to sign a peace treaty. And in that peace treaty, we are going to establish the Gaza Strip as a place where you can live if you're Palestinian. Now remember, Palestine was not, I don't know how to explain it. I just don't know how to explain it. The Jews are the rightful owners of that land because they've been there for 5,000 or 6,000 years. The name Palestinian was created by Yasser Arafat back in like the early 60s. So anyway, that's an argument for a different day. Let's move on. What I'm trying to get at is justice for Palestine and all of these organizations that are violently rioting in the streets of America. They are funded directly by dirty money that is connected to Hamas. Hamas is funded by dirty money that is connected directly to Iran. Hezbollah, Hamas, jihadist terrorists, they are all part of the same little Muslim brotherhood. They are all part of that thing that goes on. Now, President Biden created a task force. And in that, this just goes to show what an idiot this man is. He created a task force to combat Islamic phobia. Is the phobia of Islam. In other words, to protect Muslims. The only place that Muslims are under attack is China, Gaza Strip, where the Hamas fighters are using civilians as bodyguards, as shields, body shields, human shields. Saudi Arabia, Muslims are killed there. Turkey, and all throughout the Middle East. So a Muslim can live in America and practice its religion without fear. In fact, they lecture us about how we are the infidels and we are the evil ones and we need to be destroyed. And why is it that these Justice for Palestine, quote unquote, activists climbed onto monuments and defaced them and vandalized them, when that doesn't get your message out. That just pisses off Americans. And I'm going to say this, and you know what? I hate putting this stuff out into the universe, but I'm afraid it's going to happen. I have a fear that either somebody from the Justice for Palestine group or somebody against the Justice for Palestine group is going to have something click upstairs, and they're going to, like that. It's just going to, that quick. That little sound. Just like that. In their head. And all of a sudden they're going to go, ah! And they're going to absolutely lose their mind. And they are going to attack somebody. And there's going to be death. And there's going to be destruction. And it's going to be a big problem. Mark my words, it's coming. It's coming. Now, why am I talking about all of this? Why have I gone on for the last 6.5 minutes talking about all of this stuff for you to listen to? Why? Because it is imperative, necessarily imperative, that we support Israel as Christian men and women, righteous Christian men and women. It is our duty to support Israel and the Jews, because Israel and the Jews and that Holy Land, it holds a lot of significant importance to us as Christians. And if the Jews are destroyed and Hamas is allowed to come in there, those ancient sites of Christianity will cease to exist. So I'm pleading with you. I'm begging with you. I'm asking very, very passionately, would you please support Israel in their conflict against Hamas, and stand with Israel. Now, a lot of people have come out and have attacked me, stating that Israel is the guilty one, that they're the ones doing jihad, they're the ones doing violence against Hamas, and I don't know where they're getting their stories from, other than the fake media and the fake news, because this is just not true. Do you realize that a Palestinian man or woman can leave Palestine, can leave the Gaza Strip, go into Israel, work for the day without any harm or accident or anything befalling that person? Then at the end of the day, they're not allowed to stay. They pack up and they go back across the border and they stay in their home. If an Israeli, a guy from Israel or a gal from Israel, were to cross into the Gaza Strip and then into occupied Hamas territory, they would be executed on the spot. And those people who do the execution, their family would then receive thousands of dollars because they have an execution order against Jews, against Israelis. And these quote-unquote freedom fighters are being paid. Donald Trump put a stop to that. But these guys are being paid to go out and execute Jews. And then their legacy, their family, they get hundreds of thousands of dollars for the rest of their lives. They live in the lap of luxury because they killed a Jew. Now, I think that's wrong. I think that's incredibly wrong. And we need to be smarter in how we're handling this. And unfortunately, the Biden administration is not that. They're not smart. They're not doing good things. They're not making good choices and good decisions. And thus, American lives are in jeopardy.